theory Shepstone wants to share. What if the five elders are the seven deadly sins? We have five of them, but it will make sense if you understand it. Because it's not just one, in anime and manga, it's not just one concept that is connected. Sometimes it's two, several, or a whole bunch. So, my theory is the five elders are the seven deadly sins. If you search out what the seven deadly sins are, they are the seven sins known to man to break spiritual creation and strength. The seven deadly sins symbolize what? Pride, envy, gluttony, and sloth. And I can name them as I go on. But they all symbolize some form of humanity that represents something of destruction that can ruin the spiritual barrier. And what are the five elders? The yokai, demon-like creatures. So of course, it makes a lot of sense. And here's the funny joke about it. You would think, hey, the five elders are the seven deadly sins. There's only five, but then there was one taken out, and there's only still five. So how's it the seven deadly sins? Remember, it's a concept. Not all of it has to make sense. There are five, but they symbolize the five parts of the seven deadly sins. And the main one, there's two of them. We can switch between them. We'll have another theory to maybe prove a statement, because the theory is only good as long as you have evidence. So the theory is that Imu might be pride or lust. Lust meaning they're lusting over having all the power and all the strength and control. Or pride because they want to be above it all. But with that one, we'll see if the theory makes sense. So how it's going to go is the seven deadly sins plus the zodiac. And the zodiac correlates with such. So how it works is they get a seven deadly sins embodiment of what their essence could be. Then number two, they get... Okay, so here I have more evidence to state my fact. So basically, Jupiter. Jupiter is a sandworm, aka doom cryptid-like character. It doesn't fit in the zodiac, but because it's serpent or worm or some kind of creature that has no legs, we can put it under the classification under a snake, even though, there is no subspecies for caterpillars or worms or something like that. Jupiter is gluttony, the endless amount of hunger. It's symbolized in his ability, I should say, because we're not calling these devil fruits. Because in the Egghead arc, he was devouring and eating everything. He even wanted to devour the sun god. Pause, but that's what happened. And then we have theories that Nusjuro has greed. The reason we're saying greed is greed not in money or in food, greed and in power. What does Nusjuro have that a lot of people don't have in this world? He has one of the legendary Wazamoto great swords. There's only about a couple. There's about only as much as I can count on my fingers, and maybe even less than that. And he has the Sandai Katetsu, the most powerful Wazamoto great sword in the world, supreme grade. But people like Dracula Nighawk and maybe Whitebeard, because I think his is one of those great. There's only but so many powerful people and so many legendary people in this world gifted to have a legendary blade like that. And we still know how he obtained that blade. I feel like it's going to correlate with maybe Zoro's backstory with his family, and we find out probably in the next arc or something. Also, the Chinese zodiac, what creature is he classified under? He's under a Bakotsu, which is basically, in Japanese, a skeleton horse. But it's a horse. Remember, we said yokai, the symbolization of seven deadly sin. That's 2 and 3. We have to identify the zodiac creature. It's a Bakotsu, which is a subclassification. We could say horse, because it's an undead horse. Now let's move on to Mars. Mars, the classification of the seven deadly sins, is envy. His creature under the zodiac would be a bird and or crane, which could be a subclassification because they're birds. And because, like I said, you remember, they're yokai, they're zodiac, and they're seven deadly sin. The yokai usually somewhat connects to the zodiac's classification. It's a made. It's a made screams, have the power to cause mayhem and destruction in its wake. And the reason we say envy, he always sees himself above everything. And as you see in the Egghead arc, he was very annoyed with Lucci. Very annoyed, even though Lucci was on his side. And we know Oda always likes to foreshadow maybe someone's nature about their devil fruit. We can always correlate it with Luffy. He was always freeing people, and he was carefree, even the way he used to fight. Even some people's logic about how he doesn't really defeat his villains, end them completely, not destroying or devouring their dreams. So when I said Itsumade, it also connected to me. If you've ever fought the boss in Ninja Gaiden 4, the dog bird spirit, the one that says Soul Ka Fudo Mesami, the Fuka symptom. That creature is a guardian. It was soar and look above people trying to take what is his. But the whole point is above them all. Envy. I envy the fact that you lower beings can even look at me. I envy the fact that my CP9 agent, that it was sent on a mission to end the information of Dr. Vegapunk. It's not done it. And now we have Warcury. Well, Warcury, we already know, is Zodiac Chinese with the theory, is a pig, which that one is a boar, and especially with this one, this is actually a lot of things, because this is a Chinese-based thing, but it's yokai, cryptid creature, any mythological creature is under this classification. So you already have pig, which is basically boar, Chinese creature, I forgot what it's called, but it's basically Zelda Ganondorf, like that Ganondorf beast that Ganon is, that's basically what this is basically. And then... So he is the symbolization of wrath because he has uncontrollable anger. The way he was fighting Luffy, the way he was also going toe-to-toe with the giants, he has a roar. He has a roar that basically a very destructive, angry, and very uncontrollable beast would have. His roar is basically like a hockey shock. Yeah, even his name, what is it? Warcury, meaning war. He looks like an angry person. His mustache is literally like two horns that look like they're trying to clash with another beast. His animal is a beast-like thing, something on 4 legs. He's so primal in his attacks. And you would never really think that from someone like him. I would expect it from someone else. But he's wrath, the anger in the mouth. He was actually in the anime from when I was watching. it seemed like Luffy had more of a problem with Warcury than anybody else. His tusks were so hard and so powerful, it was not going down easy. Luffy punched, and his hands, like he did the little goofy thing where his hands swelled up. Because this guy was just overpowered. Like, they were trying to escape, and Warcury was, like, given a problem with them trying to get on that ship. It took a while to get Warcury out, man, even with the giants. So I think Warcury is wrath. And I think when we know more about Warcury, because we only really know about St. Saturn and we know about St. Peter's, those are the only two that really had a lot of impact. Okay, let's move on to the man, the myth, the legend. What Egghead was mostly about, St. Saturn. St. Jaygarcia Saturn. St. Garcia Saturn, he's based off a lot of people. I think like this Russian leader and a dictator. But St. Saturn had a huge impact. And his zodiac is the bull. It's a bull spider, the Gyuki, but for the most part, it's mostly bull. Like, even when he transforms into his form, he's more bull-like and then spider around the wrist. But it's a yokai, so it's a combination, but he's bull. And his zodiac is the... So we're going to say pride, because the thing with Imu's version, Imu, like I said, I think Imu has nothing to do with this. I think Imu's in the center. So if all 7 deadly sins correlate to breaking the spiritual barrier and destruction of humanity, then Imu will be in the middle. Because then, you know, like the center of everything, you know what I mean? So let's just, for anyone who's at this part, Imu does not count. We're just theorizing, so a lot of things don't have to connect until you have the story created. But let's just say St. Saturn is pride. St. Saturn is pride because he sees himself above it all. He has a very narcissistic way of seeing things. The way he compares people, the way he compares life forms. He tells even his Marines that they're ants. The way he has the stare that is a hockey stare that literally knocks everyone out. The fact of the matter, he has barely any emotion. Out of all of them, he's the only one who really, for the most part, even in his profile picture, symbolizes, like, I don't care, I'm above you. I'm above you all. So that's what I'm thinking. And my logic is, we don't know the whole concept of the immortal surgery, but what if it has to do like a Domi Reversi or a contract with Imu? But the thing is, how I'm thinking how this goes is once you claim a 7 deadly sin, you can no longer, 1, be human, 2, you have to absolutely give control to Imu, and then after that, if it is taken away, you are just a sin, so you are just a concept of the thing. So once it's taken, you're taken because you're just a name, you're no longer a being. And what I believe is, like, once Imu takes it back, no one else can claim it. We haven't seen that yet. So I believe once it's taken, it's basically like Yuhaba Ashvalen, where he claims back and takes back a shrift. Ah, yes. So, you know, Yuhabaha has the ability to take back a shrift, aka a Quincy ability. So to take back a command, to take back a sin. Now let's move on to Figarland, Shanks' father. I don't know what his could be, but we could go through that one in maybe part 3, and we will try to connect what his could be. There's only but so many zodiacs that have not been claimed yet, so it could only be so much. I think there's also a dog, so maybe he is a dog, some kind of dog, I don't know. We'll look into that. There's some other creatures that weren't claimed, like monkey and stuff. There's also rat. I mean, that would be funny, right? You remember if anyone is here, you remember the theories that we had about Shanks? He was gonna Swiss cheese on his ops. No, he was gonna get ops of Swiss cheese on him, rat and Imu. But this whole time we never knew Shanks had a brother. But I'm glad that was the case. So we're going to, on part 3, we're going to see what it could be, because this theory is pretty good. You remember, a theory is only good as long as you have evidence to prove it. I could say Imu is a giant or an ancient creature. As long as I have evidence to prove it, and evidence that correlates with what I am explaining, it can make sense. A theory is a thesis. As long as you have evidence, it can make sense. It does, and a theory is basically just the way you see it. It doesn't mean it's actual, especially with Oda. We don't know how far Oda's going with this. We never knew Oda was going to reveal Imu right now, even though it seems like the anime is almost over. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone who watched the video. Thanks for spending time at watching my headcanon theory. Because I'm a small creator, I'm afraid to take the risk of posting clips and or images, but us One Piece fans know exactly what I'm talking about. So I think if you enjoy this video, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what I can do better on this channel, and what I can do and what I cannot do.